Chairman, very much. I'm appreciating you for letting me introduce two distinguished individuals for the committee today. They're on the left part of the panel there, Brent McIntosh and Brian Callanan. I appreciate their willingness to step forward and to serve in these two important public service roles. They've dedicated much of their lives to public service, and I hope that the committee will support their nominations. Brent McIntosh has been nominated to be Undersecretary of Treasury for International Affairs, filling the role vacated by David Malpass. As you know, he was sent over to the World Bank recently. Currently serves as General Counsel at Treasury, well qualified for it. He graduated from Michigan Law School, or University of Michigan undergraduate, which we won't hold against him, and then earned his law degree from Yale. He clerked for both Judge Dennis Jacobs on the Second Circuit Court of Appeals and Judge Lawrence Silberman on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. Smart guy. Afterwards, he continued to establish himself as a dedicated public servant. I got the pleasure to work with him in the Bush administration, got to know him actually when he served as Deputy Assistant Attorney General during my time as U.S. Trade Rep, and then when I moved over to become OMB Director, Brent moved over to the White House, where I saw him a lot and worked with him. He was Associate Counsel to the President, and then Deputy Staff Secretary and Deputy Assistant to the President. After serving at Sullivan and Cromwell, Brent once again stepped back into public service, and he was nominated to serve at Treasury as General Counsel. He's been there for the last 2 years. A number of us worked with him in that capacity as well. I commended Brent at his last nomination a couple summers ago on his honesty, intelligence, and integrity that I saw when I worked with him in the Bush administration. I can safely say he's lived up to that reputation during his time as Treasury General Counsel, Mr. Chairman, and I'm pleased to see him continue now in this new role. The other gentleman is Brian Callanan. He has darkened the doors of this committee many times because he worked for me as my counsel, worked a lot on tax reform back in the day, and also worked on a bipartisan basis on some difficult issues as we dealt with the budget issues. The President has nominated Brian to be the General Counsel to fill Brent's role. He currently serves as the Deputy General Counsel. He attended Claremont McKenna College, got a JD at Harvard in 2008. He clerked for Judge Raymond Randolph on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, worked as an associate at Gibson Dunn, and again in 2011, I had the pleasure of having him on my team as my General Counsel before he returned to private practice. He then returned to my team in 2015, where he became Staff Director and General Counsel of the Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations, which I chair. During his time in both my office and at PSI, Brian showed a strong commitment to oversight and a thorough grasp of some of the most important and complex policy issues that we worked on, including, again, the budget discussions from the Super Committee, the tax issues. He briefly worked as a partner in the law firm Cooper and Kirk before returning to public service once again, this time at Treasury. So it's been a pleasure to work with Brian over the last 2 years on a variety of issues in his new role at Treasury, and I know he'll approach the role of General Counsel with the same level of expertise, integrity, respect for Congress, and that he exemplified during his time working for me. So these nominees are exceptional public service, Mr. Chairman, and great people. They have the experience and the qualifications to do these jobs and do them well. If confirmed, I know they're going to serve our country with honor, and I'm proud to support their nominations before the committee.